Cut not here, Mr. Alex. Mr. Andrei, please activate your microphone.
Deactivated. Do you hear me?
Yes, it's okay.
Yes.
Please.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, it's okay.
I switched off the microphone and forgot about it. Okay, and can you see the presentation? Can you see the presentation?
It's okay, please.
Okay, well, that's fine. Okay, hello everybody. Again, I would like to present you the result of our work, which is called Improving the Ecological Performance of Three-Piston Gas Generator by Air Gas Mixture Self-Ignition. In the beginning, I would like to say a few words about the main idea of this work. In modern conditions, there is a big problem of increasing the efficiency and ecological parameters of combustion process in internal combustion engines. In this case, a promising solution is to abandon the traditional crank mechanism in favor of a three-piston scheme characterized by low friction losses and capable of operating on various types of fuels, including gas fuels. Also, a three-piston scheme is characterized by various compression ratios, so it is very good idea to implement the RCCI process in this kind of engine, because RCCI process, or homogeneous charge compression ignition process, is characterized by low NOx emissions. So it's a great idea to improve the ecological performance of such types of engines, of internal combustion engines. And a three-piston gas generator is a shaftless internal combustion engine in which movement of the piston is not controlled by crankshaft, but is determined by interaction of forces created by the working fluid in the combustion chamber in the buffer volume and into the load device. On this slide, you can see the most common scheme of three-piston gas generator, which is consists of pistons, cylinder, engine cylinder in the center of this scheme, the buffer volumes, the position number 3, the compression volumes, the intake and exhaust receivers, and load device. Let me take a few moments of principle of three-piston gas generator operation. In the first picture, you can see the FPGG start mode in position of pistons in bottom dead center. Then they move towards to each other up to the are in the top dead center position when we inject some fuel in case of diesel operation mode, or can initialize the combustion process using spark plugs in case of gas-air mixture, in our case indeed. Then the engine working stroke begins, and when the purge and exhaust ports are open, the gas exchange process begins, or exhaust process. and after that the cycle repeats. So, as I have already said, it is a very good idea to implement a HCCI process in this type of engine because there is a various compression ratio. So the implementation of combustion of premixed mixture with compression ignition in a free piston gas generator is the research objective of our work. The engine under consideration, you can see the sectional view of this free piston gas generator here, is characterized by bore which is equal to 160 millimeters, and the stroke is about 393 millimeters when compression ratio is 9. And the maximum pressure levels in combustion chamber up to 17 megapascal. The mathematical model is based on the system of equation of energy, motion on Navier-Stokes equation, diffusion, and continuity. And we also use some turbulence model to solve this system of equation, and of course combustion models. And in our case, we use a extended cogherent plane model. First of all, we have to prepare the mesh with the moving boundaries, and in this case, we have to find out stroke depending on time, because it differs from the stroke dependence in the traditional internal combustion engines. After that, we can create a mesh, computational mesh. You can see it on this slide, and it consists of three main parts: the inlet volume, the exhaust volume or exhaust receiver, which are static volumes, and in the center of this picture there is a sign, the volume, which is the variable volume. On the next slide, you can see this mesh for two position of pistons, top dead center position and bottom dead center position on the right. The results of simulation of working process for 5 sequential cycles are presented on this slide. And for the 4th and 5th cycles, the difference between maximum pressure levels is less than 1%. So we can say that the process of ignition of the air-gas mixture under consideration is characterized by a satisfactory degree of repeatability from cycle to cycle, starting from the 4th cycle. Local values are the same for the 4th and the 5th cycles too. With the you can see some moments, the local temperature fields for the sectional use of combustion chamber for some moments of time. And in the beginning, when we have spark plugs which initialize the process of combustion, we can see combustion process on the periphery of combustion chamber, and starting from top dead center position, we can see combustion process in the center position of combustion chamber. So we think that it's the combustion process is initialized not only by the spark plugs, but the self-ignition process. And here you can see the results of simulation for 5 sequential cycles. It's temperature fields in the sectional view of computational volume. It is very important that there is no reverse flash of flames into the intake receiver. during the operation of the piston gas generator. And there is also, we also didn't see the early combustion process, which is can be initialized by products of incomplete combustion. And in our case, it is very important because we have the external mixture preparation, and of course, it's not allowed to have some flame into the intake receiver. And it can be possible, of course, because we work on the lean gas mixtures, and the fuel excess ratio was about excess ratio. I'm sorry, was about 3 and 38, 3.38. Excuse me. So to ensure that we have the self-ignition process in combustion chamber, we made some calculational cases. Here you can see the result of a simulation of combustion process when only the self-ignition takes place. It's a blue line. And when we work with spark plugs, but we switch off the mechanism of self-ignition in the mathematical model. And the result of this case, you can see the red line. So in case of self-ignition, we can see that the process of combustion is shorter, but is characterized by higher rates of heat release, of course. But what is more important, the local values of temperature in this, in case of self-ignition process or spark assistant self-ignition process, spark assistant HCCI process, are lower than in case of, for example, diesel combustion process. So we have the dramatically decreasing of NOx emission in the combustion chamber. And that is a good result for us. And also, but at the same time, HCCI process is difficult, has difficulties of controlling of this process. So we think that the best idea is use the spark ignited HCCI process, which allows us to have the pressure levels which we have to and they about 17 megapascal maximum pressure levels, so that we can say that our free piston gas generator has the specified parameters. Also, I have to say what I have to say in conclusion, that the possibility of self-ignition of mixture in HCCI mode has been confirmed, and we have decreasing of NOx emission levels. So it's good for us because we improve the ecological performance of our engine, and at the same time we have the effective power we need to. So thank you for your attention, and if you have any questions, I would like to answer it, of course.
Thank you very much for the presentation, Mr. Andrei. Question? Okay. Thank you for your participation, and wish you much success in the future. A beautiful day.
Thank you.
Bun, la revedere.
Domnul, o clipă vă rog, o clipă.
clipă, vă rog. Domnul Olimpiu,
Da.
am vrut doar să concretizez. Noi, da, am terminat